Absolutely. And as you see on P-Train's screen, we're off. That is one item the father will see in the first test.
Talk about an early access there. Definitely going to make a lot of runners happy with that one.
Yeah, absolutely. So we saw two people starting in Sanctuary and two starting with the Uncle check. P-Train sign up sides to go to James FNX and Chloe Power starting with Uncle. And Hearts as its tier 1 triple, not really what we wanted. Oh, look at that! Who are the rupees? We got our allowance from the...
That's definitely a pretty hefty allowance, that's for sure.
Oh, as you now see, that was not Ruto from Ocarina of Time. That was actually Vaporeon on Chloe Power screen.
Looks like Lumberjack Ledge is just a piece of heart. We won't be seeing egg required for that bit at the very least.
Alright. Yeah, at least we got some good rupees so that we have not gotten too much bombs, so we might see our runner just go ahead and buy some bombs once we get to Kakariko. And look at that, we got our bottle before Kakariko. That is really, really good.
The only thing that can make it better is finding the flute somewhere in Kakariko too. Get that all knocked out in one run.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a bit same for those runners who decide to do the south route to Kakariko with those 50-50 bushes, but you can't have everything.
Yeah, a little bit of sync here. But given there's only 2 or 3 routes in the start of Open, it's pretty common at this point.
Yeah, and even with the delay here, P-Train first running into blind side out. So what do we find there?
Looking like a whole lot of blue so far. Some blue clothes, gloves, and flippers.
Well, let's hope no one planned to do hula hand because that has just been removed from them. But a really nice triple bombs at the back of blind side up make sure so that they will have the bombs for the rest of.
And even if they didn't, we got the Uncle Bomb stack in the back of the pub.
Cool. And what has Sikid gone today? Ooh, he has been battling some hammer bows. He has
Hammer time.
Yeah, we're running just trugging along, finding some good items so far. This might be one of the really fast seasons. Look at that. Also some homework in Sikid.
James FNX going to buy those bombs isn't really going to like that when he gets to the back of pub there.
Okay, we just find Titans in Kakariko Well.
Alright then.
Okay, this is a really, really good seed. At least so far.
It's wide open, that's for sure.
This might be one of those seeds where someone just decided to, if they come from south, just I'm gonna go up and the enter middle of outcast already mid 5 basically.
Can definitely do that now. It was about 3:30 that we had the access.
Yeah.
Still got a number of checks over here. You almost hate orphaning, though, at this point in the game.
Yeah. So we're gonna get to see the library and the racetrack coming in from P-Train now. Quite a little bit ahead of the others at the moment.
Yeah, just a shield sitting up there in the library.
So they definitely need to go and get that for Laser Bridge.
I don't think any of these people are going to need a shield for Laser Bridge.
Yeah, that was a really quick map check, but it did have enough time to see that there are 3 crystals in the light world. Not any special crystals, just normal crystals. Yeah, we're gonna see P-Train doing the normal south route. Unless he decides to take that glove and book and head over to the desert after the dam.
Those things definitely do cross your mind here when you got as many entrances as we do in this race. Be the one who does a little bit different route, see if you can find something sooner than some other people would.
There was one really smart person who said the dailies are for the gambles. The tournament matches are for basically the safe place. Don't know if I particularly agree with that at every time, but for the most part it seems to work out.
You got to be thinking with about I think it's 34 that we got in this run today, that, if you want to be the one that does something a little bit different, get ahead of everybody, that play down the desert might be the thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're seeing that with Cloud Power military rushing to do the back of his. Quake, map, and the item in the dark. Cloud Power decides to not go for that one though. Well, that was definitely a love cave in Minimal Dawn. But yeah, a lot of hearts so far in the seed. A little bit too much for my liking. You got a lot of defense.
Just because you're the one that wanted to see the good old 4-heart hammer blind play with green, mate.
Hey, I'm classy. What can you say? But we almost have to have a full bar before 10 minutes, and with Blue Maid, that is a lot for the
7 hearts, blue mail. You couldn't really ask for much more early game.
And with the Dark World access, with both Titans and Hammer added on to that, yeah, it's pretty. But we will see the motor runners doing about the same route coming out of Kakariko as well.
P-Train making a play up to the Zora area early here. Just a few rupees short so far.
Well, he's gonna have to hope he finds a few hordes in here in Waterfall.
He finds a cape instead and just 20 rupees. Bottle toss. Looks like it's red goo.
That's pretty nice. Same time though, FNX fortunately taking a death in the Minimolum cave. Trying hammers to against Minimolums are not the easiest.
Hammer's got a little bit of a wonky hitbox, and you're trying to smack those mini Moldorms running around wherever they want. It gets a little bit risky.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, P-Train gonna run up to Ice Rod Cave, and then we're gonna see what he decides to do after that. He didn't even went ahead and check what was on Sora list, which is unfortunate.
Meanwhile, James FNX is getting our way to the Hype Cave here.
That name can be debated rather, because yeah, nothing too great. 1331.
I suppose we'll see after we get these pickups here. Starting with our first sword, however. 20 rupees, another piece of heart as if we don't have enough. 20 more rupees and another heart piece.
I would give that a 3 out of 10 just because of the sword.
It still could have been a lot worse. He could still be forced him to run around just that hand. Looks like we got red crystals on Skullwoods and Thievestown. The green pendant on Ice Palace today.
The rest of the pendants in Meyer and Pod, those are some... I don't like when I see Pod being one of those pendants, because that's one of the hordes of basically items.
Quite a dense area check. If you get the mirror, you can route that in with some checks over in Eastern Palace. It's always kind of iffy when you see it with that pendant over there. It almost just kind of feels bad as a runner diving it pretty early. Bow on Stumpy, though. Looks like he's given us some of his sticks to use.
Well, when we're talking about Eastern and Pod, what item do we find?
Exactly. It's as if it's almost telling you to go over that way already. You got the hammer, you got the bow.
Yeah, only need a fire rod, and most of those places are in logic with the advanced item placement. Don't remember if that setting is active on the preset we just are using right now.
I believe it's on advanced, so it should be.
Cool.
It still leaves the dark maze open, however. You still need the lamp for that one. 50 rupees on the dig game. P-Train's making a play up to Skullwoods, it looks like.
Yeah, the sign-up's giving us the Sora Ledge check. It is just a piece of heart, so unless there's something from our build, we're gonna see any more of the Sora.
Definitely makes it feel a little bit better not having the rupees for that quite yet when you just see nothing that's sitting there on the ledge.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, continuing here, we see that the brewery has 50 rupees. Yeah, just looking at the runners, because of how open it got through Kakariko, we see 4 different places for our runners right now.
Definitely fun to watch as a viewer, but when you're running and you see that and you get just a wide open map like that, it kind of makes you cringe a little bit, wondering what is the right play to make in this moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I would almost expect someone to gamble Death Mountain for that mirror or hookshot.
Definitely isn't in logic yet, but those are some of the easier dark caves to deal with, especially once you have that sword.
Yeah, that's why I was looking at it. But yeah, I've seen sign-ups deciding to head over to Desert to check that out. It's gonna be interesting to see what he finds.
Meanwhile, James FNX finds our second sword here in Thievestown.
That's really nice. Well, that was a big key to Thief Town, at least. We are not surprised to see FNX immediately going here just because of it being an early 5-6 crystal.
Yeah, Thievestown wide open, fully clearable at this point. You got the sword, you got blue mail. Really not much more you can ask for, especially since you have that hammer, so you don't have to orphan the big chest down low.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we are gonna see sign-ups heading into Desert Palace. That's quite an interesting check this early on, going in here without fire rod or lamp.
Or even boots for that matter. This could be something sitting up on that torch that we might need.
Yeah. But that's a small key, so at least you can take 2 more. You can loot 2 more chests, and then he might have to get that boot, as you said before.
We'll get a little bit farther in there. It could always still just be the map and the compass sitting over there, though.
Yeah.
Speak of the devil.
You just had to say that, right?
If this is a compass, I don't know what I'm gonna do here. Oh,
Thank you so much for that curse.
jeez. You are welcome. We got the big key of the torch, so it is boots lock.
Yep. We have seen runners before heading into the back to get that small key so they could get the other stuff, but this time around there was no option for that.
Yeah, there was no need getting it right there in the middle. Of course, going and confirming that that is right there on the torch, the big key, I should say, at Desert Palace.
Yeah, and the fact that he saved and quit there tells us that there was nothing on Desert Ledge. I missed what it was when he first checked. But at least we're gonna pick up the boost sometime. Yeah, FNX have already found the small key, so it's very likely that he will have to go and check the chest, because if I remember correctly, he did find a map up in the attic.
There's another unique item right there. I believe that is 3, if it was the map up top, which for the big chest.
Getting the compass in 3, 2, 1. No, it was bombos. I'm not as good as you.
You do know what that does give us access to.
Yeah. I can't believe that we can already jump into Ice Palace 17 minutes into the race.
And it's green pendant as well.
Yeah.
James FNX hopping right here into the blind fight, looking to keep it on script here. One of the very few fights, regardless of the sword or weapons you use, it still takes 3 hits in each of the 3 phases.
Having the laser makes it so much easier.
That also does include sword beams, as you see him using there.
Me knowing names good.
And at 17 minutes and 45 seconds, we have First Blood.
Woohoo! I would expect someone had probably had that around 12, just because they maybe dipped straight into that after clearing out Kakariko. But yeah, still 17 minutes, pretty quick for the First Blood. But yeah, we're gonna have a little bit of a world. No, we are not gonna have a world tour with the frog today. We are just gonna head straight back to Kakariko. But yeah, this is the one thing I don't like, because the runners have synced up really well with each other, so we don't really get anything to talk about.
Yeah, a little bit of retracing everybody's steps at this point, but given they had the early Dark World access right there, it's a dense location of checks over in Village of Outcast and Skull Woods. It kind of makes sense that everybody would start right over.
Yeah, to be honest, I expected FNX to just head over to Eastern or Pod because of that bow.
Probably better early Eastern, just since you can full clear that. Granted, it's not logic without a fire source, but yet again, it's only a couple of rooms, and they're actually a few of the easier ones still in the game.
Yeah, and those rooms are very heavily grinded as well. Nearly everyone who focuses on Randomizer knows those from in and out and can do them blind.
There are a few of the first ones that you'll want to practice if you're looking at it. Smiths today, however, are just some pyromaniacs giving us some bombs. It does look like James is making that play over to Eastern.
Cool.
Got 3 checks in the back of Sasha's hut here, and you got a few more back in Eastern.
Yep.
Chloe giving us a look here at Bumper Ledge, and it's just some bombs, so we won't be seeing that at all today.
Yeah, even with that early cape. So second here is House Love, we have a piece of heart, a big red, and another big red. Nope, nothing good today.
Stealing a little bit of his love and some of his life savings there. For a man in retirement, that's quite a bit of money there.
But it's fair though, we have had a lot of items given to us very early, so it is only fair to expect that we might have a bit of a drought here.
Yeah, early seeds odds on, the more you get right on the start of the seed, you'll have a good gap right in the middle there where you don't really find much of anything.
It basically comes down to then if you route to the right place.
Especially without the flute or the mirror yet. That'll definitely come in aspect here a little bit more than it normally.
Yeah.
Signum's giving us here a look at hammer pegs, which James, I believe, skipped when he was over there grabbing Jeremiah. Didn't go grab that before he saved and quit. It's just a full heart, though.
At the same time, at the next though, finding Ether in Eastern, so we'll have access to all medallions this round. And there is the big key, one of the worst locations, in my mind at least. But yeah, let's hope he finds 2 more items, because that would be really good. I don't want to see either map or compass in any of these 2 remaining chests here.
I better not say anything then, given what happened with Desert.
Why do you think I'm saying anything?
There's our lamp. That puts a whole bunch of stuff right back in logic there.
Yeah, that was a very, very handy place to place that.
Handy, but almost kind of dirty putting it right before some dark rooms that'll require it. For logic reasons, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that gives us logic access to the mountain. Not too much we can do there though at the moment, but I do see people just sometimes just running out just to get a save point and then waiting Spectacle Rock to later.
You can get yourself that save point, check what's on top of the Spectacle Rock, you can grab the item inside if it's something useful. But other than that, that's about how much we can do up there at this point.
Yeah. So we have found all of the items in Eastern.
It did give us our lamp there to bring some things in logic, not usually needed by most of the runners of this caliber. As well as a medallion, so that could also be Turtle Rock access as well.
Yeah, and we have found all of the medallions, so yeah, we don't have to worry about that.
Fortunately, we won't have the ever-present troll of the medallion for Turtle Rock on head.
Yeah. I had one seed where there was the Master Shovel on ped and that medallion sitting in dig spots.
One fetch quest leading to another. You gotta love those.
Yeah.
Our standard yesterday actually ended up being an ice rod on the ped. That one was quite interesting. Still had some pretty good finish times though, regardless.
I'm gonna assume it was some you could do the pendants very early.
Yeah, the pendant access was pretty early. Hookshot was on Zora Ledge. People were finishing in hour 20 for a ped seed.
That is pretty good timing.
P-Train going over to the Pyramid Ledge. And another full heart. Probably will be a... Oh, he is going for it.
It is still very early in the game, even though we are now on the second row of hearts, so he's still picking that up, but I don't think he's gonna be picking up any more, you will see.
Yeah, it gets to that point after hit 10, it's, not absolutely necessary, but it's good just having a little bit extra safety.
Yeah. Looking at the money situation now for FNX, and where he's going, he's gonna go back to Millimolum. He did die there earlier, but then he's probably gonna start to do the Sora stuff.
Unless he's gonna take that Bombos right into Ice Palace. Given it's just a green pendant, it's kind of questionable.
Increasing the item value from 3 to 4? Why not?
It still doesn't change the fact it's Ice Palace.
And look at that, 300 from Catfish today. That's really handy. We still have Sora left.
Not really sure I'd call him grumpy today. He's given us that much money.
Yeah, today he was a friendly neighbor.
Did put P-Train over what's needed for Zor, but it looks like we are going to see Uncle from him again. And I would imagine the front of Escape as well if he's going up to this area.
Yeah, absolutely. Fortunately, he had not been to easy yet and picked up that lamp, so he's gonna have to try to get a dark cross without light source, but that should be fine still.
Just as long as those rats want to cooperate with you.
Yeah. And yeah, we are seeing here Chloe is gonna dip into Pod. As we said earlier, it is one place of very, very many items, so not surprised that he's going there.
5 check can usually pay off. Odds on you're gonna find something in there.
Yeah, and with the fact that with all the items we have, it is fully billable, so why not?
Synums, meanwhile, taking down Blind for his first crystal.
Yeah.
While James is swimming up to the hobo. Not gonna be anything, I believe it was just a 20 if I remember correctly.
Yes. Yeah, small key in the first set of pods, so I was fully expecting you to come here with the bow. Okay, there are 4 small keys here in the front. It's gonna be interesting to see which route he decides to do. Okay, he's gonna go with the one in the middle.
So instead of going to the Bolak side, we're gonna get a look right up in the middle early here.
Yeah, he wants to figure out how many stuff there is on the right side, plus he can also blow this wall, which is technically a little bit faster. Yeah, with the two routes I've seen being developed for the front of Pod, yeah, why not do this one? Make the bow section a little bit.
And Zelda's still just holding 20 rupees for us today. So nothing in the front of Escape. The only thing we haven't seen at this point is Dark Cross, which is hopefully our last item.
Yeah, and oh wow, okay, we have already found the 4 small keys in the front, so there are either map compass or 2 dungeon 2 items rather in the Bolak section.
So we got a little bit of a mullet pod today. We got business in the front and all party in the back.
Yeah. But yeah, that is also one of the reasons why you want to do bow section first, because you could basically skip doing the big key assess, because yeah, you have already found all of the keys.
Zora's scam today has just given up his heart to us, not fired at all.
Oh wow, okay. Two good items found basically simultaneously. Ice Rod in Dark Cross, but also that hook shot in Pod is also looking very, very good.
Two definitely good finds. With that Ice Rod kind of being buried where it's at, it makes you wonder how long it's going to take some of the other runners to find it.
Yeah. So basically, right now, what we are seeing on this seed, it wants you to go to Kakariko to basically pick up all of the Dark World access item. Then it wanted you to head over to the Dark World to get the bow, to then go to Eastern area to get the lamp, to then start doing pod so that you can get up the mountain and continue with your progression up there.
Definitely a very curious route that I should say that it wants us to take at that point.
Yeah.
Chloe grabbing some rupees there. Let's see what that means. We might see a Zora in the future over there.
Yeah. An interesting little route here that FNX is doing, running down to go to the Dark World by the pod area, but then not entering pod and basically doing this route to get to the pyramid and what is today's cash fish.
Definitely an interesting choice, especially since we do have that hammer.
Yeah, and Early Hammer does tend to signal that you should go to pod, especially with that early bow as well.
Speaking of pod, Dark Maze holding a full heart and a piece of heart. And 10 arrows there. I believe that is all the items in the pod.
We have seen one compass, but yeah, there is the map I don't think we have seen. So yeah, Chloe's just gonna nope out of that location for now. And yeah, start trading up Death Mountain.
You got the hook shot, you got the mids, it's quite a few checks over there on the east side you can get to. Probably your most dense check area at this point. May as well. You can also then route in Tower of Hera on your way back.
Yeah, not only that, you could also, if you chose to, also get the information about what you need to enter Turtle Rock. Even though they have that, for Chloe's sake here, it's just gonna be a matter of opening it.
Yeah, go up there and opening it. And Quake was in the back of Escape. You'll see James pick it up here very shortly.
Yeah, all of our runners is gonna have all the medallions because of just how easy locations they were in.
And James saving and quitting out there. I don't believe he went to Dark Cross.
I don't think so.
Does have that lamp. Might be routing it in from the front here, it looks like.
Yeah, certainly looks like it. But yeah, it's particular with the fact that the small key was in the back of the Escape there, so yeah, could have decided to just save some time and go ahead and do it immediately.
Dark Cross is one of those, it's a little out of the way, and if you get that key in the back, it's almost tempting. Oh, but speak of the devil, we're going to go right to Dark Cross.
Yeah. And looking at Chloe's screen here, nothing on top and inside of Spectacle Rock. So just going to head straight for the hookshot and going over to, yeah. So the hookshot were the arena in the cest locked behind the bow. I saw a few people was asking about that one. Yeah, Death Warp being set up by FNX, so gonna get his eyes on, then Death Warp over to check the front.
Yeah, it's one of those where I almost might have to time it and wonder if it's either faster going Dark Cross with the back or the front.
Yeah. Peaceful, and look at that, we got some swag at least. We found the swag net. Yeah, it says someone is pointing out here in the chat. I thought in Dark Horse there's definitely going to be some people who isolates that one.
Yeah, that is definitely probably going to be a last location. Speaking of which, Fire Rod in the top of Paradox with the half magic.
Having those two together is actually a very, very cool pairing.
Fire Rod, one of the more powerful weapons here in the game. Getting that half magic with it allows you to be a little more liberal with some of those Fire Rod shots.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just a piece of heart in on the floating island. We are gonna see Chloe go to Hera now. Has the book as well, so we be even to check Ether tablet with in some seeds you're not even that one that early.
You're up there. You almost hate to kind of orphan that, especially when you do have the book and the Master Sword with you at this point. It's another item check to make it a little more dense, so you may as well grab it when you get a chance.
Yeah. Oh, a small key in Hera. It's gonna be interesting to see if we would see the pot clip that has been developed recently.
Just depends what our next chest here is holding for us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the map, so... Oh, we are gonna get the pot clip.
We're getting a pot clip.
So one of the first time we got to see the pot clip being executed here on the daily race, then one of the medallions were in the big chest. That is one idea you basically are saying with this clip, I'm never gonna come and pick that one up. And however, it was not needed for that race, which was a kind of a little bit of a blessing at that point in time. But yeah, that is basically one of the downside of doing this.
You're almost putting yourself in that position where if there is an item in that big chest, you're basically gonna have to orphan that for most of the game. Because if you're doing the clip, you're not intending going to get that big key.
Yeah, absolutely.
James giving us another look at the ledge here. Just 20 rupees.
Yeah, and a beautiful executed pot clip there. Did take a few bombs, but it is still a very early play. It's still not everyone is not too much well practiced on that yet.
And once again, speak of the devil, that's a compass in that chest, meaning there is an item in the big chest today.
Oof.
The worst thing it could be for Chloe at this point is that just happens to be our mirror.
Mirror or the cane even. Or maybe even boots.
This is true, we do need the boots there to clear out desert today.
Yeah. Chloe accidentally triggers the invade facing from almost get knocked down the middle twice.
The pit of shame there, that one knocks you down 2 floors.
Yeah, was able to defeat it though. It's gonna pick up the third crystal here. It's just a big 20, so let's hope the item in the big chest is not needed.
Yeah, like I said, if you intend on doing that pot clip, you're either hoping that you find 2 items up near the top, or you don't really have any intent of going back. But if you don't go back, that is definitely going to be something that's weighing on your mind the whole time as you're searching for that other item.
Yeah, you're basically doing a heavy commitment there. But I think the main reason why we didn't see Chloe do the basement here was because of the absence of that mirror.
It is quite the long walk.
But yeah, we get bad boomerang from Ether tablet.
I can imagine from here, Chloe will be going down through Spiral and then probably head over to the Dark World to get those east side checked.
Yeah, and the fact that he does have the fact that Chloe has the 3 medallions here means that he doesn't have to worry about entering at the moment. Can just decide to enter the Dark World down there doing that entrance.
Yeah, and anytime you go back up for Turtle Rock, you know you have the access, so you don't really have to go hunt for that bit of information.
Yeah.
A walk of shame, though, doing Spiral Cave here without the boots.
Absolutely. Just a piece of heart is what is our runner rewarded by. And yeah, Chloe did check Ether, so but that was just a bad boomerang, so don't worry about it.
In other words, it was the red boomerang.
I like a little bit how the war between the blue boomerang and the red boomerang has kind of been established, like how with the Helix Fossil and the other fossil in the Pokemon.
All depends what you want to do. You got a little more NMG stuff you can do with the blue boomerang, and the red boomerang goes a little bit farther, a little faster for some group. However, we're finding those boots here in Super Bunny for Chloe.
What are those? Well, that means that this is beatable, plus we also have a good opportunity for those bomb locations we find mirror here in Hookshot. Well, we find Blue Cane. That means that we might see Chloe just decides to, I'm gonna take that boot and that Blue Cane and do a Spikade.
Kind of another one of those out-of-the-way checks, but while you're at the top of the mountain, you may as well get it out of the... Clear that one up, just kind of get that off the top of your mind.
Yeah, why not?
Kind of interesting how everything here on the top of Death Mountain is actually routing into itself, allowing you to pretty much clear every check that you have.
Yeah.
I believe that also makes it that the only thing that could be left on head at this point could be the mirror.
Yeah, absolutely. There are right now 2 items we need. One of them is the mirror and the cane, and we need a cane for Meyer area, so yeah, that would be it. Otherwise, it would have to be a fast quest item leading us to that.
I mean, if we wanted to be evil, we could see a whole chain of fetch quests going on to get us to that mirror. But if you wanted to be a little more evil than a ped leading to that, you could probably say green pen.
Yeah, I'll take green pendant.
Just for the fact that that's an ice, and I think everyone is going to be avoiding ice as long as they can.
Yeah, probably. But it also comes to the fact here, with the fact that we got Bombos both kinda early, we find the Hookshot also kinda early. I could definitely see some people running to ice paddles just to try to be that difference factor.
Exactly, it is pretty much fully clearable there. You would have to take the long way around if you do miss the bomb jump, however.
Yeah, but that's fine. It could also be the fact that you could either get the smoke in the furthest or in the ice spider room, and then you wouldn't have to worry about the bomb jump at all.
Gotta love Ice Palace key logic there. Still something that makes my brain hurt whenever I try to think about.
Yep. Okay, so we have not found a single item in desert. What are we gonna find now?
However, it is fully clearable, so you may as well go in there, grab it, do what you can. The big question is whether or not we're going to see Chloe grab that big chest and then head straight to the back after grabbing the key here on the torch.
It's going to be interesting. However, there are Remember, this is the first trip here for Chloe, so would not be surprised to just see. Yeah, I think it was FNX that ended there early. Or no, it was Signups that ended.
It was Signups that I unfortunately jinxed.
Yeah. And not against the play though, because of just how early access we got to Desert. It could have definitely been the fact that Lamp or another very, very good item like the Flute being there, because then we would have gained access to that now.
The Flute, however, is not needed, with Misery being a pendant, so we could very well see a Fluteless Seed.
Oh, please don't say that. There's so many times I found core items in Meyer. You want to know which item I found the most in Misery Meyer out of all of the items?
Well, if your luck's anything like mine, you'll find the hookshot in there when you got the boots. But unfortunately, our runners got both of those.
That is not the item that I typically tend to find there. The item I tend to find there is Ice Rod.
Oof. Ice Rod and the Pendant Mire is fairly dirty.
Yeah.
Won't be getting that today. Our unique item, though, in Desert, we got the single arrow in the pig chest.
Woohoo! We can kill Ganon! I would just really loved it if they somehow implemented that getting the single arrow would unlock you so that you could get a hint about where the one of the bow was.
That gives you a one-shot final phase Ganon. It is a single unique item.
Yeah.
P-Train not quite getting the coffee break today.
Aww. But at least we're gonna get to see what was in that big chest.
Signum's picking up Fire Rod and Half Magic.
Yep.
Kind of interesting, even more interesting logic there with the hookshot technically being full lock. So it's expecting you to go all the way over to Stumpy too before you make your dip into Pod.
Yeah.
Oh, and unfortunately Signum's missing that bomb jump. We'll have to take the long way around, but is instead choosing just to exit Paradox.
Yeah, was standing a little bit too high up for what looked like. I had real hard time understanding though with the fact how different the sprites seem to look.
Yeah, it's one of the main reasons I don't use too much for different sprites. Now, if you try to line up based on the sprites box, that can change. However, the shadow stays the same regardless of whichever sprite you're using. So either you just have to get used to the sprite or start using the shadow for your bomb jump lineups.
I tend to use the shadow. It is consistent through all the sprites. But yeah, Desert is clear. We didn't find anything there, so going back to Skullwoods probably to see what item we have left there.
We're getting King's Tomb, actually.
Yeah, why not? Okay, so good news for Chloe. There are nothing in the big chest of Hera.
There's nothing down in King's Tomb either.
That's not a good news.
So we will see that hair pot actually pay off there for Chloe. But you still gotta wonder how long that's gonna be weighing on the mind, knowing that you did leave that item there. If it comes down to trying to search for either that or even that mirror, we'll see Chloe go back there.
Yeah.
All just depends how heavily it weighs on your mind. Traditionally, though, when you make a skip like that, you have every intention of never heading back there.
Yeah. So at the moment, I am gonna say we are probably gonna find mirror. Gonna be my gamble here.
That might be your gamble, but we know all of Chad is hoping for that thing to be sitting on the ped. Which, will we actually get a check from Chloe on the ped here right now? Went and checked Lumberjack there to make sure that wasn't egg required.
Yeah. Get your hype up in the set and
we're about to find out.
well, as soon as the gods stop bullying Chloe.
A little action with the bird. Ultra knocking him back into the guard knocking him back and forth. Meanwhile, we have Ether.
Ball on ped.
It's just a bottle. So now the worst place that mirror could be would be in ice.
Yeah. Either in ice or mire, but that would mean that we would find the flutes in Ice Palace.
I think the best that we can hope for at this point is a whole chain of fetch quests off the Green Pendant. Giving us the shovel to the mushroom to the powder.
Gonna be saying this. If we do find a Raider King before that, I'm definitely seeing people gonna head to powder first before checking the mushroom.
Yeah.
I did get to see a little bit of fun thing happening the other day with that, and that was one runner I was doing a commentary on had to fake powder the powder because running out of magic.
Yeah, little known fact added to your arsenal there. You can fake powder with the powder.
Yeah. But yeah, one thing I've said for the longest time now here when I have been doing commentary, I really wanted the trick fake mushroom to be discovered.
I'm not really sure that has to be a hand-in item to activate the trigger, but it would be interesting.
Yeah, which is why I want it to be discovered. Yes,
you just want to set the council into a whole tizzy of wondering whether or not that's legal.
Yeah. Just imagine you accidentally trading in your powder, so you have to use the mushroom for fake powder.
Incoming hover discussion 2.0.
Yeah.
However, we have the mirror on Helmasaur, so a full clear of pod is required.
That is really, really bad for Chloe.
That's a very dirty location for it, going to the back there.
Oh, and I'm expecting James basically to head down to Swamp soon. Because, yeah, should not be... okay, probably off the mountain, but should not be expecting too many...
Make that go mode.
Good question.
Especially with them two left side chests, if you're still searching for an item.
Yeah. Yeah, with the fact that right now, P-Train, Chloe, and Synapse, all of them have been in pod, but decided to not finish it. That gives FNX a pretty good advantage.
Definitely between the ice rod and the mirror. Unfortunately, we can be seeing the right side of our screen here, kind of being left out stranded.
Yeah, at the same time,
Chloe thinking it might be in the Pyramid Fairy.
I wouldn't
check here.
I wouldn't hold it too much against that because of just how early we got everything for that.
Precisely, Skullwoods and Thievestown being clearable as early as they were. You know, if you're thinking it's throwing everything at you early, it's not really that bad of a check.
Yeah.
Well, James picking up that fire rod in his excursion up the mountain.
Yeah.
Nailing that bomb jump and heading on up out of the top.
But yeah, we have 10 arrows and red rupee in there. Not really what we wanted to see.
Definitely not what you wanted to see if you're Chloe at this point. 3 items you're still looking for that you wanted to see instead of those.
Mm-hmm.
Still sitting here looking for our red cane so we can clear Turtle Rock.
I'm not expecting that one right now to be in Swamp, because that would really be then a scene where we've thrown everything out.
Well, I mean, if you're hoping for the Oops All Dungeons, you want the fluid on left side of Swamp, so that leads to the cane early on in Misery.
You're basically saying you want to see a French vanilla cake.
Precisely. Let's firelock that behind cutscene while we're at it.
Oof. Oh, that is rather a double oof.
I mean, if we're gonna go for it, let's go all for it.
Yeah.
Hype Cave was a whole lot of nothing. We had our sword in the front and some love and 20 rupees in the back.
Yeah. So let's piece together a little bit here how the seed expected you to do progression here. So taking up where it was earlier with having to go to pod early, it wanted you to finish pod, then go up the mountain to get the fire rod and the booth up there, so you can finish both of Desert and Skullwoods, and with that mirror then heading into Swamp Palace.
That you could have also went the way to get your bow off the Stumpy, leading you into Eastern, where we found the lamp.
Yeah, what I said, taking off from where we were speaking about earlier.
It's basically wanting you to zigzag back and forth across the whole map as much as you can.
Yeah. Yeah, we are seeing Chloe here doing what is kind of like a meme when it comes to over glitches with doing escape at around the hour mark.
And that right there also just shows you how much our runners dislike Ice Palace. Avoiding the checks in Ice Palace for the longer, kind of linear routed checks here in Escape.
Mm-hmm.
But when we see Chloe go down into Dark Cross, where we know that Ice Rod is hiding out today.
Yeah. But I'm expecting Chloe to go to Ice Palace after this.
And James going down to the basement looks like he'll give us a little bit of a coffee break as well, instead of trying that hair clip.
Yeah. It is still a very new clip, so we are not expecting too many runners to do it, but I would only really do it if you get a small key and one of the items at the bottom.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where it almost forces you to leave an item sitting there in the big chat. Which, like I said, that's just going to weigh on your mind the whole time. Speaking of which, it makes you wonder how much that's weighing on Chloe's mind right now, whether or not one of those key items you're looking for is sitting there in that big chest.
Yeah.
Oof, that red Stalfos actually second fire rod shot.
Yeah.
Mirror was about as dirty as it could be in this seed, sitting there on Pendant Pod on Helmasaur.
Yeah, unfortunately, and as expected, Chloe going into ice. Probably gonna. Oh, it's not even gonna considering going to up the cave to buy a bomb upgrade.
Nope, just gonna jump on in. If you're fairly confident in your bomb jump, you only need 1 or 2. Should be good to go.
And yeah, we do. And yeah, but then you're expecting that you will not have any problem with the Stalfos room as well. That is a little bit more.
If you've ran through it and practiced enough, though, you got those placements down. Just drop a bomb right off the place where you take the pot away from, and you're good to go.
Yeah, but still, I does find a small key in the first set, so we'll be able to take the hooks outside very, very quickly.
There's your key logic you're talking about. I think the only way this seed could get a little bit worse for our runners is either finding the flute here on Cold Stare or the cane. If you got the flute, that almost makes you think about going over to Meyer, wondering if that cane could be in the front of Meyer.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is right now, as San is pointing out here, we need this Maya for that go mode. Or rather for that no mode, for us at least. But yeah, right now it's only really FNX who is right now in the fighting here to be in go mode.
Ooh, okay. Missing the first try at that bomb jump.
Yeah.
That's probably one, like I said, with those sprites looking a little different. That tail on Vaporeon kind of throw you for a loop there.
Yeah, gonna have to go for the switch here to change it back. It's gonna affect the routing a little bit later on inside the bottom there, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem there.
You can also see there, P-Train thinking the same thing with Pyramid Fairy. You got 2 items you're looking for, 2 items in the Pyramid Fairy. We had early access to those crystals. Yep. Let's give it a look.
Yeah, I love the fact here that James is, or rather FNX is gonna head to Swamp Palace before going into Desert. So the fact that it is a time save, even if it will leave you have to do the left side of Swamp.
Yep, route in Swamp. From there, you could actually route in Bombo's tablet on your way over into Desert. It gives you a few more checks doing that.
Just more reason to do this route that he's currently doing.
The only way you could have made that better was by grabbing the purple chest on his way over.
Yeah. But yeah, nothing real on the hooks outside. Have one chest here.
Got an item that's just bombed so far. I really hope I didn't pull out my Jinx card again and we got Flute sitting on Cold Stare there with the cane hiding out in misery.
Wouldn't be surprised. But that is a big key thing, so one good thing on the hookshot side.
It gives us a few more checks we can do without having to do a little bit of funky routing.
Yeah.
P-Train heading back up to Zora here.
But yeah, Chloe have already found 2 of the items. There's 1 item left to find. Just imagine if Red Cane was on Sora this whole time and Peter right now is doing Golden Route.
Now, what would be worse, having the Red Cane hiding there, fire-locked in Misery Mire on the cutscene chest, or we have that hiding over there in Checkerboard?
Good question.
I guess it just depends on if you go to Misery Mire first, or you go and check Checkerboard first.
Yeah.
So it looks like we are going to see a full clear here from Chloe. My count is correct. That last item is on Gold Stare.
Either that or Ice Tea Room. I have not seen that yet. Going down here to put the switch into the right mode.
That is true.
But yeah, look at that. We are gonna be fashionable today as FNX finds the red mail in Compass Room. And he's gonna go for left side Swamp first. Maybe?
Oh, maybe. Nope, throwing you for a loop.
Damn you, FNX!
Ice Tea check is the compass.
Yeah. So did Chloe check the big chest? I missed that.
Yeah, 10 arrows.
Okay, that's
that
all
leaves
alive.
an item on Cold Stare, or was there one I missed?
No, a small key on Cold Stare.
Okay.
Because Piece of Heart and triple bombs on the Hookshot side.
There's our red cane, however, so we do have, or is that actually go mode for Jane?
It is a go mode at 1:05:31. Go mode! FNX have done a wonderful route this seed. But it is gonna be the Master Sword Silverless at the moment.
At the moment, which gives you a lot of spins, but there are a lot of chests there in Ganon's Tower where you can still find it. So at this point, you just straight up route it like go mode, and you just go on through, grab your crystals, and head on.
Yeah.
James basically giving us the galaxy brain for this one.
Just wait for the galaxy brain of Tyroom in GT.
I believe that is the only troll that this seed could have left for us.
Yeah. Okay, I can think of one more.
Silver's in Moldorm 2 chest?
That was not one I was thinking about. I was thinking about silvers in Meyer and the flute being in GT.
Yeah, I'd probably rather have those silvers in Moldorm 2, because everybody's probably going to skip it. Especially if they find it tempered down and bottom.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Just one of those where it was within reach. You just didn't quite do it.
Yeah.
So James in business, taking down Swamp Palace. I would imagine going right over Desert. That takes out the Bombos check that I had earlier talked about. Clear that out for us.
Yeah, he's not even gonna consider doing bombos now. James just wants to go for the finish. And it's gonna be at a very good time as well.
Barring any other hiccups that might occur, you got Red Mail, you got the Master Sword. That's really all you need for Ganon right there.
Yeah, the only really thing that we saw that was a bit of a stick in the bike wheel was that death in Min Moldorm. Otherwise, James has been playing really, really good this seed.
Making the play to go down and kill Helmasaur when you knew you still had one item left in the dungeon. Definitely paying dividends today.
Yeah, and it also comes to one rule that I tend to go for, and that is that never half commit locations. Because for what it feels like, 7 out of 10, if you half commit a location, then there is gonna be a core item in that location.
That's usually the one that comes back to bite you in the end there.
Yeah.
You had all the checks done, all you really needed to do was go back and hit Helma. You had all the items to kill Helma. It's almost as if the seed was just kind of nudging you that direction.
Just more reason to go and finish off Helmasaur.
Precisely.
But it's very rare to find both Hookshot and Mirror at the same place.
It's almost as if from there it was pointing you right down into Swamp Palace for, hey, here's the rest of the final items you need, by the way. So if you followed the kind of logic that the items were giving you, there's really no way you could have went wrong here.
This is actually a really good point. So we're gonna change the routing here a bit with how the seed expected you. You still will have to go to Kakariko, get those early stuff, then head over to the Dark World to pick up Bow at Stumpy, pick up the sword in basically Hype kid, while you're doing that, go back to the light rod to get into Eastern to pick up the lamp. Head to pod. After you have been to pod, you basically have gotten the lamp, the hookshot, and the mirror. Go into basically the Swamp Palace, then go up the mountain, and then go down to clear the rest of the stuff in of the palaces to go back to Turtle Rock.
It was essentially in its own way giving you a kind of a linear routing there. P-Train, meanwhile, took down Cold Sword, quite a masterful master sword fight actually there, using the fire rod. It only mean one thing, it looks like he might be banking on that green pendant having something for us.
Yeah. And Chloe here going back to Eastern. So did Chloe skip the Dark Room test?
Might have. Yeah, going that way, it looks like we did skip that one.
Yeah.
Vanilla Big Key location.
Yeah, while we were talking, P-Train did an amazing fight against Kosa. He's gonna go and turn in that green pendant.
Just getting us some blueberries for our green pendant.
Yeah.
Signum's walking her purple chest on down here to get unlocked.
Yeah. So the Canis Mine was fine in the flood test of Swamp. That is so basically just to recap a bit for this shit has been going so quick. And yeah, the mirror were on Helmasaur.
And the hook shot was also in pod as well.
It is like what we said, the business at the front, party in the back.
Pod was definitely wearing that 1970s mullet today.
Yeah, but look at that, Chloe is gonna go back to pod.
Yep, doesn't want to make that trek back up the mountain, so we're going back into pod for the item we left instead of going up into Tower of Hera. Definitely the right play to make in Chloe's position this point. And it's of course easy for us to say since we know it's going to lead to the mirror.
It's very easy for us to say.
Which then that'll give Chloe a go mode Swamp and a go mode Turtle Rock.
It depends. Will Chloe go to the left side first or go to the back first?
Yeah, it is a good question. I would almost assume go right to the back, though. That is kind of a standard play. You go to the back, see if you get the items you need, especially if you only need the one. That way you don't lose too much time there.
Yeah. The one way I would see how that would change would be if you would find map or compass in that first chest of the pod or in compass room. I did not check really what was in those, in at least the first chest. So that might affect someone's routes.
It just depends how many gambles, quote unquote, you want to take at that point in the game.
Yeah. Oh, Chloe hasn't done Dark Cross?
Nope, still hunting for that ice rod.
That could come back to bite Chloe if that is the case.
Unless they snuck that in when we weren't looking.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah, it does
Yeah, Chloe has it, good. But yeah, Signups also decided to do the dip into Ice Palace.
Almost thinking we had hints turned on there. Looked like he was making a turn for the hint tile, but then right back around.
Yeah, with the new commands we are using, because of we having a new bot for this veneration of the seeds. Basically, for most of those presets, hints are turned off because there was a lot of players who didn't like the hints in the first place.
Yeah, I think they're going to stay off for the most part until we see that rework that's come.
Yeah.
Soon, TM. Meanwhile, as James makes his way on up to Turtle Rock, getting better, are going to have to reset the room. Everyone else kind of retracing all their steps. Be sure to go ahead and give all of these runners a follow. They're putting on quite a good show for you. Give them a little bit of love.
Yeah. I did like the hints though, because that give you the kind of little different play style. So I think it's a little bit sad that it was done.
Alright, as well, huge shouts out to our trackers today. Sans and Jinxie Girl.
Yeah, they're making our job look easy, basically.
They're the ones keeping us here on track, making sure that we're doing it right. Chloe down in Helmasaur getting that mirror. Probably having some size of regret at this point. Gonna think they're quite far behind.
Was that a wordplay you were doing?
Shh, you're not supposed to pick that out. Hey, Chloe, where are you going? Going over to 45, okay.
Yeah,
Shield upgrade is meanwhile in Crystal Roller Room with our big key in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, Chloe's still looking for that red cane.
Just follow the seed. Follow the seed, Chloe.
Yeah. But yeah, going back to the fact that it was so open, but we are basically bringing it down to that it was a linear seed. That's kind of, those two things kind of go hand in hand. With the very open start, it tends to become a linear seed after that.
If you follow the logic where some of the items point you, it kind of gives you the biggest hint of where to go. I mean, the only thing that really could have thrown some of the runners for a loop would have been that ice rod if they didn't go down to Dark Cross. That, or if they didn't go to Eastern, I should say, before heading in there.
Yeah. But with following the item, that is kind of like the strat we see for the most part in Key Sanity. So I kind of like seeing that here in a no Key Sanity seed as well.
Now let's see if James steals a key here and heads straight to the back.
I would imagine he would do. I think he's already found the big key. Or maybe. Okay, he found it. Good.
Yep. Stealing it, heading to the back. Big key was on the right side in Crystal Roller Room today. So there we are with Turtle Rock actually giving it to you a pretty linear, pretty much of a linear run too.
Yeah.
Chloe definitely going where they need to, going right into Swamp. Hopefully they don't do the left side.
Yeah.
Train taking down Helma, getting his mirror while we're at it. Gonna see that, and we'll see if that points him straight into Swamp, or if he's gonna do a few more overworld checks, because he does have Hera left as well.
PJ not even picking up the pendant.
Oh. Okay, he is going to Swamp. I almost saw him on Mountain Cave there for a second. It's like he thought about Hera. But with this route, you might see him go down here, grab the cane out of Swamp, and then head up to Turtle Rock, route in Hera with the mirror, and then dive right into Ganon's town.
Yeah.
The only question for his route that'll remain is whether or not that will get the Hera pot. Look like he actually has Hera marked off now.
Okay.
The tracker must have been eating that input.
Yeah, that's very possible. The tracker does have a tendency of doing that, unfortunately.
Yeah, especially if they don't feed it a little bit before the run.
But yeah, FNX are already in the dark maze of Turlock. I actually think that dark room is one of the easier.
And you just let it go to the right a little bit and hold down to get to your first shot. Go back out to the right. I believe it's left is all you need to hold after that.
Yeah. Yeah, after you have gone down after you've been to the first location, so then it's just holding left. But yeah,
It's one of those that looks daunting at first. It really isn't after you kind of take a little bit of time to kind of glance at it and see, yeah, there's only a few inputs I need to do.
Yeah, there is a total of 4 inputs you need to do when you are on the track.
James giving us a little bit of a swag dash there with the cane.
Because why not?
Definitely has to feel good about his routing at this point at this stage.
Yeah. Bad, I said.
Yeah, interesting seeing him using the Master Sword slashes instead of pulling with the hammer for a few quicker hits.
Yeah.
The hammer does do about the same damage there as the Tempered Sword, so usually you'll see a few runners pull that out. Master Sword at this point.
Yeah, but we do tend to see that more often if they don't have half magic.
Yes, it's true. Signum's making the play back into the front of his escape while we're doing this here. Hopefully that means we see him go into the Dark Cross and pick up that Ice Rod.
Yeah.
Still using those Master Sword slashes, we get to try next down. And you know what that means, Angels.
It's time to play a little game. Oh, look at the flute as well from it. But yeah. Inside GT, there are a total of 22 different locations where the big key can be. Type in the chat 1 to 22 what you think it's gonna be.
I always go for the good old 14. That number usually serves me well. Where do you think it's gonna be at?
I typically tend to guess high numbers, so I'm gonna say 17.
So we already have a few people hitting the 22 there, hoping for the last roll that the sea could possibly give us, as if the mirror on Pod Helmasaur there wasn't enough.
Yeah, and that runner also specifically said that there's no one who's gonna is gonna be the very last sick tile room.
Yeah, at this point, you're heading to Ganon's Tower at about 123. You're not gonna go to Tower Room right away. A few more seconds for guesses. We'll call that it.
Yes, so number 1 is blueberries. In number 2, silvers.
Good place to find the silvers, but since there's no small key, it means we're gonna go right to the left.
Yeah, so there's one route I had started to do recently, and that is left side first, because I heard someone saying if you find 3 or more keys on the left side without counting this pot key here, then if you want to do Dark Magician.
Yeah, the more and more I think about it, the more and more I usually find that big key on the right side if that's what happened. Speaking of which, 3 on Bob's torch was a small key. 4 is another small key. Some blue rupees in 5. A green rupee in 6, and 7 is our tempered.
So we are being a little bit saved here by GT.
Like I said, you go in there with a Master Sword Silverless, and you come out probably with a buttered silver fight.
Yeah,
Ganon is going to be no problem for any of the runners today.
absolutely not.
8 in the fire bar today. Gives us a big heart.
Yeah.
Let's see if James pulls out the blue boomerang here. Well, just gonna use the king.
I don't think we have seen a blue boomerang at all.
Oh, that is true. Symptom of playing too many seeds, you just assume that they have the blue boomerang by the time you get into Ganon's tower.
Yeah, at least a bad boomerang. But yeah, James has that, but decided to use the cane set instead.
9 was just some sticks. We're getting to some rando room action here.
Yeah, the one room you will only see in the randomizer.
10 to 13, the only time it can hold something is in the randomizer. NMG will never step foot into this room.
Nope.
10, 11, 12 is our bottle, and 13 is butter. What did I literally just say?
Oh god. Our runners are basically right now just being spoiled by these.
Well, I pretty much in essence called that you're gonna have a silver butter when you get into Ganon. Did I jinx it by saying tile room for Big Key? If that's the case, I don't think I'm gonna talk anymore.
Maybe.
Or at least for the sake of the runners. Bob's chest, number 14.
Yeah, your guess coming up here. Nope.
Nope, just some 20s. Ice Armos time, which is gonna go by in the blink of an eye with those silver.
Yep.
You know, we both have Chloe and P-Train inside of Turtle Rock. This is their final dungeon as well. Looks like Chloe's just stealing that key and heading right on up towards Trinex as well.
Yeah. So 15 to 17 coming up here for the FNX. 15 is gonna be Compass, 16 is gonna be a Smoky, and 17 is gonna be the big key. Woohoo!
There it is, 17. And I believe that is your guess.
It is. Finally I'm getting that one right.
Hey, you watch enough, you guess enough, you're bound to get it right eventually. It is French vanilla, a little bit off to the top and to the right. Sinum's over here. Looks like he's still looking for the cane, and the ice are going to go up towards Catfish. He's got a whole bunch of rupees for his trouble.
Yeah. It also comes to the fact here that we have seen FNX just doing a golden route this year. Also doing a bit of a golden route inside GT. So wow.
P-Train making quick work of that Chain Chomp room. For some reason, the only place in the game that you see Chain Chomps, one of the Mario enemies, making an appearance over here, and they like to do 4 hearts of damage to you when they take a bite out of you.
Yeah, I would have expected to see a few Chain Chomps in GT.
Looks like James is going to make a stop over here at the refill room and pick up Fairy.
Yeah, and one of the sign-ups is actually gonna go back to Pod, have not gone there yet, unfortunately.
This is also another one of those places where you might see runners switch from them silver arrows to the normal arrows. Only because that silver sparkle gives you a little bit of a lag after you shoot them out.
Yeah.
Sinum's making a play back. Definitely good news for them.
When FNX seemed to miss the fire assault on the first stealth there, but did eventually get that room. It's gonna go ahead and just dash to Moldom 2, and it looks like gonna be just the slashes against the Moldom 2.
There's 2 butter. Alternatively, you could use 1 silver rod shot or 2 fire rod shots. Chloe taking down Trinix, gonna get that flute and just kind of shake their head. And grab that blast crystal and head on over into its tower.
Did you say silver rod?
I believe I said something like that.
That infamous silver rod.
There's a shovel for P-Train in the laser bridge. More than likely looking for those silvers and some more swords.
Yeah, not surprised to be checked that P-Train was checking those as, because yeah, just an extra sword or silver matters so much in the Ganon fight, specifically in phase.
Specifically, exactly. And especially since you have that big damage difference between the Master Sword and the Tempered Sword, making the difference between just needing to spin or if you want.
Yeah.
The Sign Numb's making the way back down into Helmasaur, gonna get that mirror. Should follow that right into Swamp. Not sure if they've picked up their Ice Rod yet. Ooh, James taking a fall there to Troll Dorm.
Okay, we had one more troll in this aid.
We had 1 left here.
I have had seen some new strats here on Moldom 2 recently with that bomb knockback back strat being developed.
If you hold your sword out just right with the extra recoil you get off when you bonk Moldorm in the head, set a bomb at the right location, have that go off at the same time you bonk, it'll launch you right across that gap. Sounds like a lot, but if you practice it and learn Moldorm's AI a little bit, it's actually a little bit simpler than hovering in my mind.
Yeah, Moldom can seem to be random, but it actually has a set pattern of how it moves.
2 short bounces and then it does a 3rd bounce. It looks at Link and goes towards you for a long little path, or a straight line, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And then repeats.
Yeah, and if it would bounce on any of those straight paths towards you, it's gonna go back to the bounces again.
And James FNX making some work here. Their final test, a little bit of geometry here.
Yeah, they got their homework earlier, so yeah, just turn that in.
And down goes Aga 2. We just got a big pig standing in our way between some bacon and the Triforce.
So I have a little bit of a question here to you. What do you prefer? Bacon, ham, or pork chop?
I mean, I gotta go with the typical response and say bacon.
Yeah, that's
Can
kind
never have
of...
too much bacon.
Ain't that true? But yeah, we're heading into Ganon now here. The butter, ham...
Now the other reason we call it the Butter Sword, it literally melts enemies. See if you get the 1-in-1 here. Already into phase 2. That should be more than enough slashes to throw him into phase 3. 1 more for good measure.
You're gonna have to walk through because my browser started to lag a bit.
Alright, we're into phase 3 here. Let's see how many teleports Ganon has for us. Meanwhile, we have P-Train going to the right side. Unfortunately, we know that is not going to yield anything. And that is going to be probably the difference between P-Train and Chloe in the finishing order.
Yeah, and at next you're committing a bit too hard to get an extra silver in. We'll have to play without the torch glitch.
Yeah, but with Butter and getting a double there. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Get your GGs in chat. There's a 1x3 bridge separating James from the Triforce and a finish in this race.
Yeah, the victory music is playing. James FNX walks across that bridge and finishes off winner and official SRL time of 1 hour 35 minutes and 3 seconds. That earns him a third position in the race, but a first position here on the restream. GG.
With that news, we had first position Sayonara with a 1 hour and 25 minutes, just sniping our second place finisher, Dr. Marty, with a 1 hour 25 minute 51 second finish.
That is actually considered a tie because it is within 3 seconds, but also
this ain't tournament rules though.
Still people call it like that, but we are joined here by FNX. Welcome and GG.
How am I third? How?
That's the same one question I'm asking myself here.
I wasted a minute going to pod without the money for it. How am I third?
So
that is a very good question.
There was one vertical route I was talking about, and it was that you basically waited with Safe Town and after going to pod as quick as you could with the Eastern was done, and then go to Swamp, go up the mountain, and then go back and finish off everything down there and go back up to finish off that rock.
Yeah, like it made the most sense for me once I got the jitters out of tilting off early in the seed, but there was just a lot of dungeons. There was a lot of overworld to do in this. There's a lot of options from the beginning of the seed, having Mitts and Hammer and Moon Pearl all within 15 minutes.
It was about 3 minutes and 30 seconds. You legitimately had Dark World access.
Yes.
Literally everything just opened up for you.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how quickly am I going to try and do Thieves Town. Do I have the tools how much overworld I want to do? And then I died in Mini Moldworm and just gave up on that when the Dark World, which ended up working out okay because Moldworm Cave was kind of bad, and that led me to Bow to get me to Eastern.
Yeah. You basically had a bit of a golden road here.
Yeah. I was a little worried going up in the last couple dungeons with Master Sword and no silvers and Ganon's Tower provided.
It's just heading up there. I was kind of talking about that, how you can enter Ganon's Tower with Master Sword silverless, leave it with Butter silvers, and Ganon will be nothing but a cakewalk pretty much. And lo and behold, we find Butter and silvers just sitting there waiting.
Yeah.
It definitely had to have been a sigh of relief right there, seeing both of those. Yeah,
considering I wasn't. I mean, the second half of the game, I felt I played fairly well. The Trinex fight was a little messy, but not bad for just Master Sword. I didn't want to bother taking time to swap to Hammer when I had half magic. I didn't need to.
Yeah, absolutely. The Hammer strat is becoming more required, really, if you choose to do it without magic. Magic. But yeah, otherwise wasn't there anything too much otherwise to talk about in this seed, because you basically followed the golden road or the yellow brick road, maybe. I don't know which one is the best in this case.
Yeah, there's a lot of overworld stuff that people could have done that clearly didn't lead anywhere, since I found everything that was needed to all 4 swords, silvers, and everything other than powder, really.
Yeah.
That literally could have been the only other thing you could have asked for in this seed.
Yeah.
One thing I do kind of want to peg on there, we saw a few of our runners dip into pod, and as soon as they got a few of the items, all but one of them dip out. What was kind of going through your mind when you decided to dive right on down into Helma and give them a go there?
I've been burned too many times in V31 not clearing out a dungeon, especially if you're choosing to go into a pendant dungeon. There's a seed a couple weeks ago where I ended up triple dipping Pendant Swamp. I found the map and the compass very early, along with the hookshot. So there was between the dark maze chests and the boss, there were 4 items still. And I figured if I'm going to go through dark maze without boots and without mirror, I might as well just clear this out and never have to come back here.
Well, it ended up being a good decision. Little did you know that was going to lead to the mirror, which basically gave you the rest of your go mode items right there in Swamp.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we were kind of saying, where it seemed like if you followed the items that the seed was leading you into that linear path there for a go mode.
Yeah, but if you got the hookshot and dipped out a pod, you could really, really do some damage to your routing.
Yeah, but unfortunately, we saw just about everyone else on the restream grab that hookshot and dip out, paying for it with not having to make that double dip back in the pod just for that one item.
I mean, just in double dip pod, really, especially when you've only found one item in the front half. Like, it's a pendant dungeon, but it's very slow to get back to the back, and especially without boots at that point.
It basically comes down to that little check where you're just kind of thinking, well, do I really want to come back? Do I want to risk it, or do I just get it out of the way and hope it's something?
Right.
And meanwhile, we have Chloe Prower taking down Ganon as well. Just got that 1x3 bridge separating them from getting us some Triforce and the bacon. Get your GGs in chat. That'll finish them with an official SRL time of 141.30. Coming in 8th, and I believe you jinxed this one, Angels, a dead tie for 8th, with Ganon's Gone Wild at 141.30.
Hey, a tie on the Sunday race because of just how many signs up to them.
With 34 runners in there, you're bound to get it. We'll grab a few of the other finishers here. We had Plasma Kappa 4th, 136.35, Incoherent 5th, 138.05, and Matt 7898 in 6th, 138.15, Fear Agent 7th, 141.01. And I believe we also have Chloe Prower joining us. Jeez.
Hi, GG's.
So how about that mirror there on Helm's?
Oh my gosh. I had 2 locations left. The other one was I did the Hera pot and I skipped the big chest, which had something. I don't know what that something was. I didn't get it.
It was rupees. It wasn't anything. Which are you gonna do? Are you gonna go up to Hera and do that chest? How much does that weigh on your mind? Or are you going back to Pod?
Yeah, I mean, ever since like I started doing Smith route, that was when I'm like, I skipped it, and I hate myself for it. But I mean, in Pod is not the worst skip that I did, at least. Like, the Hera one was like, oh, I'm gonna save a minute not doing the tile room, and then...
Just hope that item isn't something that burns you.
I mean,
meanwhile, let's stop you quick there. We had P-Train finishing in 12th place with the official SRL time of 142.37. GG's, P-Train.
GG.
So I figured the mirror was my hold-up, but what was other people's holds-up?
For most people on the restream, it is the mirror.
It is the mirror?
Dipped out after getting that hook shot.
I think there were 2 plays that like really. The first one is clearing Pod the first time you're there, which I think is arguably a bad call. I mean, I'm not going to say it's a bad call. It's a decision you can make, but I think it's a perfectly reasonable decision to leave Pod. The second one is... All right, so I'm sorry. The first play that wins the game is immediately noping out after hook shot, because then you leave 4 items in Pod. And 4 items in Pod, to me, are a lot more appealing than 3 items in Ice Palace, even with the Green Pendant. So I think that's like the main play that like helps win this race. The first one would be full clearing Pod while you're there the first time, but I think that's a really, really hard call to make, especially setting up the Death Warp in the Dark Maze and all that, because you don't have the mirror at that point.
Yeah, you don't have the mirror. It kind of makes that a little questionable. I mean, seeing Pod as a pendant as well makes going all the way through to Helmsar questionable even further. It just depends on, where do you want to leave that last item, or do you really want to leave it?
Yeah.
So I went to Ice Palace and ran out of bombs trying to do the jump because I only had 2 at the time, and I almost did it vanilla.
Yeah, but you noped out after finding all of the items.
Well, I didn't really know out. I didn't find the second small key, so I couldn't actually get to Vitreous, or to Cold Stare rather.
You did set up that switch though while you were going through it, so couldn't you have gone in?
I did, but I needed 1 small key to get back to it. Actually, I could have... No, I needed 1 small key to get back to the left side. Because if you do a vanilla, you have to go all the way back up into that large ice room at least, and... It's dumb.
Lucky for you,
No,
that
no,
small
you
key was
can't-
on cold stairs, so it saved you a kill.
Can't you just go backward after the ice heat?
You can't, because you can't get to the left side of the drop block, so you can drop the correct block down.
Oh, right.
It's dumb.
Yeah, it's not often where not having red cane in Ice Palace in Rando is making you have to nope out of the Ice Palace.
I mean, at least it like told me that it was Samaria lock, so Samaria had to be in somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I figured Cold Stare probably didn't have anything at that point, or Green Pendant rather didn't have anything.
Green Pendant with some bombs. Gold Stare had your final small key.
Yeah.
Also,
Huh.
TJ, big. I like that you just decided to hover Moldom 2. Or Trollum 2, rather.
Oh yeah. Honestly, I'm better hovering it than fighting it. I promise it's not a brag. It's more of a commentary on how garbage I am in Moldorm 2.
Okay. Also, what was the up with that bumper after Trollum?
The
Yeah, a little
bomb
bit of a glitch
after-
bumper.
Oh yeah, that happens. I think if Moldorm's on screen when you transition, the bumper just goes crazy.
Ah, okay.
There's probably a scientific reason behind it, but you'd have to have someone a lot smarter.
I believe the best explanation is that the game can't walk and talk at the same time. For lack of other ways of explaining.
Yeah,
Let's just go with that.
All in all, I'm pretty happy with the way the seed played out. I felt like I executed well. Maybe I should have noped out after hookshot. I don't necessarily regret clearing the rest of pod. Unfortunately, just the way this seed played out, obviously that wasn't that it wasn't the play to make this seed. But I don't know. 9 times out of 10, I'd probably make that same call in the same situation. So I'm not too salty about that. I was getting a little worried about Bottle Vendor for a while. Luckily, it only had a green rupee. But I felt a little silly checking it after Dark Death Mountain. Because if the Bottle Vendor had Cane, I was going to be really upset about that. Also, I made a calculated gamble to skip Spiral Cave. And I was sweating that one. Honestly, going into Ice, even more so going back into Pod. Luckily, that ended up being a time save overall.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest time save was just skipping Ice outright. If you did that, that would have saved you a considerable amount of time. Which I imagine James did, right?
I never touched ice. I went through pod and cleared it my first trip, so I just Dark Death Mountain after that, got the 6 chests there, and then started doing dungeons.
Yeah, that was the play. I mean, I imagine P-Train and me went to Dark Death Mountain at the same time, and we got all the chests, but without the mirror. Kind of just...
Yeah, as soon as you both had that hook shot, you jumped up there, grabbed everything, and even the items up in Dark Death Mountain and Dark Mountain itself too were kind of, leading you to every single check up there. So it was the wrong decision at that point. It just didn't have what you were looking for.
Yeah, I mean, we got the fire rod. The only thing we were missing was Cane and Mirror at the time. I mean, Ice Rod was probably in a weird spot. I can imagine someone last locationing that. Just for reference, I know someone well.
Yeah,
Sitting
like
there
I'm
across is kind of dirty.
Yeah, when you get the hook shot on right side of pod, you have like the entirety of Death Mountain. So that's what 2 items in Hera, Paradox Cave, Hookshot Cave, Super Bunny Cave.
I mean,
If you find Kane, you're guaranteed access to 6 more items in Turtle Rock, and if you find 5 more items in Turtle Rock, and if you find Mirror, you're guaranteed 6 more items in Swamp. So
Right.
yeah, in my opinion, like mathematically, it just made so much more sense to leave pod.
Yeah, I can agree with that, but at the same time, this is the daily race. This is where the gambles is gonna have to come in if you want to.
Yeah, and
he
I guess
also
I
has
just
the
kind of never
most
wanted to.
fuel.
I kind of never wanted to go back with not having boots and not having flute and not having a quick way to get over there. I didn't ever want to go back to pause. So I just cleared it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's definitely a conservative play,
Mhm.
but I don't think it's a bad call to stay in pod. I think leaving might be slightly more aggressive.
Sure.
But for me, I was just like going by the numbers. I was like, man, if I find even just 1 item on Death Mountain, I'm set. You know, like I'm gonna have so many checks. And
yeah,
then the Mountain had nothing, and then Ice Palace had nothing, and Mirrorless Smiths had nothing.
the mountain had both boots and fire rod.
Boots
So,
fire rod.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
both of
Boots
which
and
were
Fire
fire
Rod,
rod.
but then Pyramid Fairy had nothing.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, it wasn't a bad play. It just wasn't the right one.
Yeah,
That's all it comes down to. I mean, whether you spend the extra minute and a half, 2 minutes to finish off pod or not.
no,
Definitely
literally the only tracker is, was not counting the flute checks, is Checkerboard Cave and Spiral Cave. Those are the only things that I really see. I know I go moded Turtle Rocks. I didn't do like Mimic Cave and the big chest there, but yeah, Graveyard Ledge and Spiral Cave were the only things that I left on the table after go mode.
How do you have so many more checks than me? I don't have much either. That's weird.
Yeah.
Did you do right side first and Gannon's Tower?
I did Short Dark Magician. So I did left side, and then because Hope Room didn't have a small key, I did Full Dark Magician rather than the Short Dark Magician.
Okay.
By the way, shout outs to GT having like all of the in-game equipment.
Yeah.
Those swords were in the way.
Yeah, I said it on the stream, and it was kind of like you got spoiled in GT.
I
didn't
wouldn't
look
say
at it.
spoiled. I think I earned that sword.
Definitely, after all that, yeah.
I was kind of shocked after all of the world that I cleared that I did not have like a sword or an extra bow to show for it.
I mean, it wasn't like we were hurting for defensive stuff, though. I had 10 hearts before I even entered Dark World.
I don't know. I feel like you can play around poor defense. You can't play around poor offense. Like if you don't have offense, you're just screwed. Like you're just a sitting duck.
That's true. I don't know. I've had 10 hearts going into blind, and I found the sword in Hype Cave, and I'm like, yep, that's all I need.
I only had 6 hearts when I did blind.
Oh, you must have. I think you must have. I went from Hype Cave because I had Titans, but I went from Hype Cave up.
Oh no, I went. I went. So I died Mini Moldorm,
Ouch.
and then went Hype Cave up.
Oh, there was like 3 hearts in Mini Mold.
Yeah, and I found that out later.
Like 3 containers, not pieces. So
Yes.
It was great.
Yeah, that was another thing that was very interesting about the seed. Like, what was it? 4-minute Dark World access, something like that.
It was 3:30 that you got the Titans bits, and you had the Moon Pearl there sitting in Link's house, I believe, if I remember correctly.
Thanks.
Yeah, that was a little rude in my I don't know. I've learned to just play the seeds normally, because like if you cleared the entirety of CAC, the entirety of South Shore, and then you find like your last piece of Dark World in Sahasrara, you're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Sometimes it just happens to be concentrated in Kakariko. So I tried to avoid the urge to immediately go into the Dark World. did mini Moldorm, did a couple other Sphere 1 location checks, and in particular just got help. Then I got a bottle. I dove a waterfall cave, was able to convert that to a red potion. So at that point, I was like, okay, I feel comfortable with Hammer Blind. You know, let's go into the Dark World. Maybe we'll find a mirror that allows us to conveniently route in Hyrule Castle. Maybe do Catfish and Zora, which unfortunately none of that happened. I think the only thing I got in that route was 2 swords and a bow. But still, I mean, it was an interesting way to route the early game. You had a lot of choices open to you.
I've gotten more.
Literally the whole world for you there.
I've gotten more in the feeling of putting off Saha and Eastern unless I find the bow or the mirror. At that point, kind of just. Ugh. I know some people like swear by running over there right away too nowadays.
Yeah, I'm a fan of putting that off, honestly, myself. Unless you have a reason to go over there, like if you have a bow or if you have the mirrors, you can do pod or part of pod and Eastern. Like, I try to do it last.
Which location are we just talking about the pod Eastern area?
Just the pod Eastern. I know a lot of there's a few runners who just do it because they know no one else is doing it now.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Eastern without a bow. I try to last location that, with the exception of maybe an Aga play. I don't know, if I have Aga, like I'll almost do Aga even without checking Eastern. Just because I don't like doing Eastern without a bow.
With the new lamp logic in Eastern too, I also skip out on the vanilla big key chest a lot. Just because
I do that anyway. I didn't do it this seed because the lamp was just too convenient. But yeah, skipping the big key chest is one of my favorite skips. That and Spiral Cave.
And because that one is hard lamp locked, where like the boss of Eastern is only fire rod locked now, it seems like it's less likely that the big key is back there anyways for the most part, or really anything in general.
Unless you find like an early lamp and your first few checks are in Overworld.
Well,
odds are it's something since it's hard lamp lock that's not really going to be.
I mean, so far in V31, this was the exception to the rule. So far in V31, if I find early lamp, I'm just expecting to do Agam at 20 minutes.
Found early lamp, but he had 3-minute Dark World access.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember a few days ago it was required Aga except if you fake flippered. And that made me feel really bad because I did the required Aga. The flippers were in Dark World and like Titansmiths were in Waterfall Fairy and I never fake flippered.
Oh.
It felt bad.
You're dirty.
Yeah, I think the moment I stepped foot, I'm not gonna say the moment I stepped foot in ice, but the moment I killed Cold Stare, and didn't have anything to show for it, I felt really bad at that point. I was like, I probably have missed something. Green Pendant just didn't feel like it was it. I can't explain why I felt that way, but I was just like, man, nothing about this feels good right now.
I mean, I knew Green Pendant wasn't it. I went through the rest. After messing up that bomb jump, I went through the rest of Ice Palace just to see if it was in logic at all, and I'm like, Kane's not even in logic for the boss, and I'm like, this is terrible.
Meanwhile, I was the opposite. Like at like 120, I'm like, how are people not done yet? Like I was in GT, and I'm like, how are people not done yet?
I'm trying to think if that mirror would have taunted me to Swamp Palace early.
Oh, mirror would have absolutely sent me to. You just got the hookshot and the mirror,
right?
But like, where else would you go?
Then it would have been Ice Rod. I think would have been my issue.
Oh, I had Ice Rod pretty early, but I also put off Hyrule Castle, so I had a sword when I did Hyrule Castle. So Dark Room wasn't an issue for me.
Oh, the back of Escape, or did you do the front too? You probably did the front, but.
I think I did the back of Escape pretty early, like before doing my Dark World stuff. But I not orphan's not the right word, but I put off the front of Hyrule Castle, hoping to find mirror somewhere in the Dark World, so I could just loop it in with a pyramid ledge check, which didn't happen. So then after I think I walked up to Catfish. Even though I had bow, I did Catfish, and then I did Hyrule Castle because I wanted to do Eastern. But if I was going to do Eastern, if I didn't find anything, I wanted to have Pod as my next option. But I didn't feel comfortable doing Pendant Pod, having not done Escape, because that's a Tier 1 location, right? Like I don't want to leave things there too long.
Yeah.
So I did Catfish, then I did the front of Hyrule Castle, and at that point I had Master Sword. So I just did the Dark Room, got the Ice Rod, save and quit, then did Eastern and Pod minus Helmsburg.
Yeah, that's my question though. If I had done Helmosaur, I would have gotten the mirror. I would have done Swamp, or I probably would have gone the mountain first and then did Swamp.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah,
And-
I probably would have done Swamp first, just because the hook shot and the mirror would have been so good. And then at that point, you would have got Kane, and you'd have been in go mode.
I would have not had the Ice Rod though.
Nice.
Oh, I would have.
You
Yeah,
would
like-
have, but I didn't. Because I did the back escape, found the small key, and didn't have a sword, so I didn't want to do the Dark Room without it. I'm trying to think.
I did the mountain, and then I did Hera while I was on the mountain, and then I did Escape, got the Ice Rod, and then did Swamp, and was off to races from there.
Yeah, I mean, I think like really those are the two decision points. Either number one, you leave immediately after the hook shot, so you leave those 4 items in Pod. They're making it look more attractive, between Pod or Ice.
Right.
4 items in Pod look a lot better than 3 items in Ice. Either that, or you just full clear Pod while you're there.
Yeah, I think full clearing Pod while you're there is a stronger play.
I mean, obviously on this seed, I don't know, clearing a pendant when you just unlock so many other locations, which if, any one of those locations has Mirror or Cane, then you're in really good shape, So I can definitely see leaving Pod. Staying for Pod it's a difficult decision for the way I route. Like I said, it's definitely not a bad call. I mean, you never get burned full clearing. You get burned by skipping things. So,
I mean, the optimal thing would have been to full clear Pod and go straight to Swamp. But
Ooh, and unfortunately, it looks like Side Notes took a fall there.
oh, so close.
Ooh. Had 1 silver hit away as well.
1 silver hit away, get bounced by Gin there on that tour.
Been there.
At least there's a fairy here in the... Oh, he's gonna skip the fairy in the tree. He's running up to the witches to buy some goo.
Yeah, mirror buy some goo at this point to make sure you get it for good.
Boy, too bad this flute was useful.
That was one item I didn't expect to see at all in this seed.
I mean, I'm glad it was where it was because there was no chance anyone was going to Mire.
Right.
Any
No,
sooner
I
that
want
could
it
throw
to
in
be-
somebody in a terrible spin down into Mire.
I wanted it to be K45. Solely because then people who got the early mirror might have gotten baited like anywhere other than straight Swamp. Like when I saw it on Trinex, I was like, oh, well, because I always try to think of like who I'm racing against, right? Like, okay, I'm racing against the people who stayed in full cleared Pod. I'm racing against people who mirrored after hookshot. I'm racing against people who last location Pod, right? So I'm hoping that I'm racing against someone who found the flute in a mirror lock location, who then cleared an unnecessary mire. So basically, they got punished by finding the mirror early, right?
Yeah,
But when flute dropped off of Trinex, I was like, oh dang.
I can't see anyone clearing Mire in the seed though. Not with Savaria where it was either.
Yeah.
That would have been hard to clear Mire because you would have had to.
Yeah, I cannot imagine
I mean, if you really
Like you have to go.
I think if you forgot Dark Cross, you could do fire.
You couldn't get.
Well, I mean,
you
keep
couldn't
in
get
mind
Flute
though-
with a Dark Cross.
Well, that's what I mean, though. If Flute was somewhere accessible.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and like this is going through my mind like before I found Kane, you know. So I don't know that Kane is in Swamp at this point. I'm like, man, I hope Flute is like K45, so all these jerks that got early mirror, they find that Flute.
I don't even know it was in K45. I didn't go there.
It is a big 20.
A big
Yeah.
20.
Yeah, big 20 in K45, then the 10 arrow bundle on Bombos,
Yeah, taught
then the
yourself
stuff that was
to
in Swamp.
check the one-offs before you do Swamp. Because if you're missing one item, it's probably there.
Hey guys, I really do appreciate the restream and the commentary and the tracking. Unfortunately, I do have to step away, but GG Chloe and James FNX, good race. Congratulations, James FNX on the PB too.
Yeah, like I said, I have no idea how I'm third. No idea.
Podium finish always feels great, man.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you. I'll catch y'all later. Thank you.
GG's B-Train. Thanks for joining us.
GG.
Sydenham's back here on the Ganon Fight Phase 4. We were one hit away. Don't get bounced again.
Ooh, almost.
Close, but playing it safe.
But yeah, that was last silver arrow hit. The Viking music is playing for sign-ups. Really wanted probably that to be heard
There
a
we
little bit
go.
earlier, but
And that's GG's. Sydenham's finishing with an official SRL time. 2 hours, 6 minutes, 35 seconds.
yeah, GG. Send your GGs in the sets to sign-ups for finishing off after that unfortunate fall to Ganon.
Gotta give props to do for sticking it out, finishing it up for us here on the restream. Big GG.
Yeah, so while we wait for sign-ups to come in here, let's look a bit at the schedule of what is gonna happen. So coming up soon at Speed Gaming 1, we have the Zelda 1 randomizer tournament between 3 Saver and 62 GP. There's gonna be another one on Speed Gaming 3 as well between the 8th Seb Geni and don't mind the 8th one. Sevgeny and Adrian Rick, and also one on Speed Gaming 4, and there's also, of course, a weekly on Speed Gaming 1 at 10 p.m. So a lot of Zelda 1 coming up.
Yeah, gonna get our GGs extended out to sign now. Definitely painful seeing that last fall there when you're one arrow away, but stuck it out. Always like to see that, especially when you're oh so close.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, in 10 days, then it's time for hype. We have Speed Gaming Live starting out at October 24th. So make sure to turn into that. There's 3 main tournaments, which has $3,000 prize pools. It is the Link to Past Randomizer, Ocarina of Time Randomizer, and the Super Mario Maker 2, as well as some other minor tournaments, and also, of course, stream that will be going on Speed Gaming 2 throughout the event.
While you're checking all that out, be sure to also check out all of our runners over on Twitch, featuring Chloe Power, James FNX, Sydenham's giving us quite a decent show here today. The more follows you give them, the more love you give them, the better off. They put on a show for your entertainment. They like seeing jump on in their Twitch while they're doing their own runs. Same goes for a shout out to our checkers, Jinsey Girl, as well as Sans Skill. Big shout outs to them. Without them, we couldn't do our job. They make what we do look easy. And as well, big shout outs over here to Angels co-commentating.
It's always a pleasure coming in here to do the commentary.
Any final thoughts here?
A really open series that kind of turns linear, those are the best scenes.
Definitely. It all just kind of depended on how you played that early 3-minute access to the Dark World. You don't like leaving those early locations, so usually the safe play is grabbing everything, but from there it just kind of opened up and quickly turned linear. You grab that hook shot and the mirror as well, and that just kind of keeps pointing in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Thanks everybody for joining us. This has been a wonderful presentation here on Speed Gaming Live. I'm Spyweaver signing off inside Angels. Have a wonderful evening.